Welcome to TheoTrade. It's Don Kaufman here, August 5th, 2026. Just about 30 minutes stand between us and the cash close here on this Wednesday afternoon. The S&Ps massively unchanged. NASDAQ down very minimally. Advanced decline line on today's trading session. An absolute, complete, and total slop fest. All right, let's get right to it. Stating the obvious, that was some rip to the upside. But as I said, that's kind of the obvious. Going on kind of beneath the marketplace, well, the derivative marketplace, specifically options, Skew, is an absolute cluster. I'm going to get into that and much more here, of course, on this TheoTrade evening update. Let's first look at a couple of levels inside of the S&Ps. I've continuously been using this 180-day 4-hour chart. I'm going to kind of zoom in a little bit to what we term the volatility box. Enter the volatility box. Bottom of the volatility box is somewhere in or around about 7,300. The top of that volatility box is right around 7,700. We entered into these levels in or around somewhere right around like the May 4th time frame when we kind of jumped into the volatility box. And well, we've had a breach of the volatility box to the upside, and it was absolutely vicious. So much so, for those of you that do speak options geek, as I said, it's sheer and utter chaos in the options side of the business, because the call implied volatility skew literally inverted in the SPX. And, you know, traders have been around for decades trading that product, have never seen a volatility like inversion, anywhere near this. Not to mention the number of calls that traded in yesterday was phenomenal. I mean, a record almost by double what we've seen. And I'm going to get into the implications of that call skew kind of flipping over here momentarily. But let's first kind of focus on the breach of the volatility box. There's not a lot of surprise, at least out of me, about the kind of price action that we saw after breaking through the 7,700 level. And I want to be very clear as to actually what has occurred. I've been talking about this kind of incessantly. When you trade inside of a very, very finite range, and you're not really breaching that range. Now, the center of it, has been specifically 75.11, and I've talked about that level. And what you basically have is this enormous ball of risk that just continues to grow and to grow and to grow. And it's because we've been trading at the same levels for such a substantial period of time, right? The ball of risk is the open interest. It's literally options being rolled forward, on a day-to-day basis. And a lot of that has to do, of course, with zero DTE. So what you get is this giant ball of risk off this 75.11, and the moment we actually cross into any new territory, the entire professional world has to do what? They have to buy S&P futures. Why? And that really baffles a lot of people. And I'm actually going to show you this in a little bit more context. Right here is the central point of trade. To give you more context on it, if everything that you've traded has been in or around this 75.11, and you've got this giant ball of risk in this area, that's the happy point for trade. The second you actually crest outside into new turf, uncharted waters are going to bring about massive hedging activity. So all of a sudden we crack through 7,700 and boom, servers turn on, we rip to the upside. What's more important now is, the structure of trade. It's less about like, well, non-farm payrolls are coming out on Friday. Yeah, who gives two craps? You shouldn't. Who cares? It's not going to, okay, some short-term volatility, but SanDisk is going to have earnings. Nah, nobody cares. Nobody even cared about AMD earnings. You didn't hear anything about that, right? Non-event. SpaceX, non-event. The only event became when the S&Ps crossed through this level because we went absolutely parabolic and the skew started to literally invert, flipped over on us. Okay. What was going on is, again, all of a sudden servers turn on, start buying S&Ps like crazy. And then proprietary trading firms, okay, proprietary trading firms rushed in to the SPX. Let's cruise over to the SPX, the mother of all products. And again, let's get to the structure of what was really going on. 0DTE became the epicenter for this. And what we were seeing, okay, and again, I'm using the August 6th expiration just to show you this. What we were seeing is at the money and slightly out of the money calls being purchased like there was no tomorrow. And what it was causing is if you start buying calls, okay, like literally there's no tomorrow, you're walking in there, you're like, I'll take them, I'll take them, I'll take them. Okay, it'll actually cause those calls to go up in price. But as you, the retail trader, are buying calls, as proprietary trading firms are buying calls, the market makers are having to sell you those calls. The market maker sells the calls, okay, turns around, has to buy more futures, turns around, has to buy more futures. And we went parabolic. Why am I explaining this? Because the structural, okay, terminology of it blows people's minds. The volatility, like of the at the money options right now, and again, I'm just going to highlight this for a second. Freeze the screen, highlight it, okay? The at the money calls are trading for 13 vol tomorrow. As you slightly go out of the money, you'll see that the skew starts to bend back up because there's still pretty extraordinary demand for these calls, okay? What that is in effect going to do, it is going to make markets extraordinarily volatile for the remainder of this week because, okay, that skew is going to collapse upon itself. This is not going to last more than a few, okay, days, maybe a few hours. The skew is already relaxed to some degree. Now, I do not want to leave you, okay, with the notion or the logic that that means the markets are going to crash. Because I think a lot of people are taking that wrong. Oh, the markets are going to crash. No, what you're going to get is a very wild, very unpredictable trading tape, okay, for the remainder of the week, like Thursday, Friday, into early next week. You're going to get very, very fast, disconnected, broken feeling trade. And you better keep your head in the game because you're not just going to get, 10 handle moves. That's 10-point moves higher or lower inside of the S&Ps. You're all of a sudden going to start to see 50 or 70-point moves in the S&Ps. And you're like, well, why? You sound pretty sure of that. Yeah, what's going to happen is the unwind of the hedge. So these SPX options are going to start to kind of relax a little bit. Some of them are coming off the board. I mean, there's trading firms that are selling boatloads of out of the money options into this, okay? And they're selling them because, well, retail is buying them, proprietary trading firms are buying them. If you take a look already at some of the volume, this is for tomorrow. Look at this. There's already almost 12,000 that have traded at the 7,800. Okay, there's tens of thousands of freaking contracts already. Okay, that's tomorrow. Did you see today's order flow? Okay, today it's pretty docile day. The market is massively unchanged, and we're like in uncharted waters here, people. 122,000 contracts have traded at the 7750 level. Okay, 100,000. This is volume. And I know they're getting in and getting out. I just can't stress enough the size, the magnitude of trade, okay, is like nothing we've ever seen before. And it feels pretty docile until you realize we've almost done 5 million contracts just in the SPX. That crap is downright crazy. And the number of calls trading is almost equivalent to the number of puts. For those of you that know SPX historically, okay, almost twice the number of puts trade than calls in the SPX because the product is predominantly used for hedging. But no, it's turned into one mother of a gamma squeeze. I mean, that's what you're seeing right now. It's a gamma squeeze. And what you're going to get is a lot of these options are going to start to come off the board, okay? And then the trading firms, okay, when stuff starts to come off the board, and I say come off the board, I'll just give you just a really brief example, okay? Doesn't matter what the open interest happens to be. 92,000 of these traded, okay? A lot of them, okay, are just going to go out worthless. And the trading firms are going to relinquish hedges. And as they relinquish hedges, you're going to get the S&Ps. They're going to get knocked around like a pinball, okay? It's going to be very, very difficult to discern what a range day is from a trend day, because you could be on trend and all of a sudden it can flip around, it can reverse very, very rapidly as you start to hit, okay, some of these really critical levels. Where those critical levels are is going to be next to impossible, though, to denote. Okay, we're going to turn, we're going to burn, then we're going to turn back around. Again, look for big, big moves. And of course, people are going to point out, well, it was the non-farm payrolls, it was this. Okay, you're just amped right now for really huge moves. Okay, the other facet of this that was also pretty incredible was we saw SPX obviously exploding up, but at the exact same time, and it's relaxed a little bit today, but we saw SPX exploding to the upside with VIX, okay, actually higher in trade. I mean, that unto itself is a wild, wild anomaly, which is market up, VIX up. Okay, that's not exactly a recipe for being warm and fuzzy out there. And then, okay, well, again, you've had thus far, you were looking for this week 100 and about 11-point move, I believe. I'm just doing this off the top of my head, but it's about 111-point move that we were expecting this week. Right now, I mean, if we were to take the temperature right now, you're up, okay, 250. So you're beyond 2 standard deviations. You're on a critical break to the upside. And of course, people are like, wow, it's the largest move ever. Okay, we've seen some pretty big moves. I mean, even recently, okay, I can point out like, all right, that's 2 sigma move. That's over 2 standard deviations over here. So we're just beyond 2 standard deviations. To me, the least important portion of this, okay, is the fact that we actually broke to the upside. That's the least important. It's the structure of markets right now. Okay. The last piece of the puzzle over here, for those of you that actually look at what we term skew, okay, is out of the money puts, okay, versus out of the money calls in terms of implied volatility, kind of measuring way out of the money puts versus way out of the money calls. And the skew completely imploded. And for those of you that do not speak skew, let me show you what imploded means. Okay. Literally, okay, we were up here 150, 130, okay, we're 126. We're 126, and I want to show you where that kind of falls, all right, here at 126, okay, in terms of trading in any recent history, that's the absolute lowest we've seen in terms of skew. And that happens, okay, because the calls went skyrocketing in terms of price. So there's a lot of little anomalies that we're going to talk about, a lot of trades you can take based on this as well. But when you start to look at it, skew is approximately 30 days out. When you start to actually look at options like some 30 days out, okay, and you look at what's termed implied volatility, okay, and I know I'm geeking out on people. Some of the implied volatility over here, way out of the money stuff's trading for like a 23 vol. Well, cruise out to some of the calls, okay? The call implied volatility literally started to bend right back to the upside. And you've got call implied volatility fairly high versus put implied volatility, which is exactly why, okay, skew has now imploded. Again, imploded. 126 is unheard of in these markets. So, you know, where does that leave you? Okay, it's a little bit of a catch-22. You're going to see some fast, very broken, very disconnected trade in the SPX, just to give you a feel for it. In the SPX, just in the next 2 days of trade. Look, today is over, people. You got, 18 minutes left. We're pricing still a $70 move. Now remember, the entire week had a $111 okay, price action that we were supposed to see. We still have $70 left. Okay. And you would think, again, you're like, well, the volatility calmed down today. The hell it did. Okay. Short-term volatility is still up there. It's still elevated. Okay. The 30-day volatility crushed back down a little bit. But what people are not seeing is that vol is still elevated for Friday. August 7th expiration, $70 move. Okay, I'm telling you, you're going to see 50, 70-point moves, okay, like it's nothing in this marketplace. It's going to be very, very skittish as some of the hedges come off. So bottom line for the next 2 days, hands and feet inside of the vehicle at all times. Last thing I just want to mention here in tonight's video, bond market, okay? This is something I was talking about in the weekend update. I expected the bond market to be much more in play. It rallied a little bit this week. Look for it to sell back off. Why? You got markets at all-time highs. The last time I looked, that is inflationary. Okay, I think you have a pretty good opportunity for bonds to come back off, and that's going to be in scope, okay, as this week kind of wraps up into early next week. That's it, people. There is a lot going on in the marketplace right now, but it's much more structural than it is just looking at particular levels. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.